Hello friends, in this video we'll talk about Kali Linux setup. So what is a Kali Linux? So Kali Linux is one of the most popular operating system which contains lots of hacking, penetration testing and digital forensics tool. So this operating system is used by penetration testers, digital investigators and incident response team, even by a security administrator. So this system is open source system and contains lot of tools. So we'll need this system in order to test the different vulnerabilities in different web applications. You can download this operating system from this link. So now let's see that how we can install the system inside our VirtualBox.
Now let's see that how we can install Kali Linux inside VirtualBox. So right now I am at kali.org. So this is the official website of Kali Linux made by Offensive Security. So now go to downloads. So depending upon the operating system you are using, you can download one of them like Kali 64-bit for 64-bit operating system and Kali 32-bit for 32-bit operating system. So there are some also lighter version available of Kali Linux like Kali 64-bit Lite, Kali 32-bit Lite. So I recommend you to download the full-fledged version of Kali Linux from here. So I have already downloaded the Kali Linux, which you can see you in my desktop. So here is my Kali Linux ISO file. So now what I will going to do, I am installing Kali Linux inside the VirtualBox. So here is my VirtualBox manager, you can see. So I have already downloaded and installed Kali Linux, but now let's install a fresh copy of a Kali Linux. So in order to install any virtual machine inside VirtualBox, we have to click on new. Okay, then it asks for the name. So let's give it the name Kali Linux demo. Now depending upon your Kali Linux ISO, so here you can see that my Kali Linux ISO is of 64-bit. So we have to select here in the version 64-bit. Okay, and the Kali Linux is Debian based, so let it be Linux. Now click on next. Now it asks for the memory size you want to give. So I recommend you to give at least 4 GB. If your system contains 4 GB RAM, then you can give half of it to Kali Linux. So I'm giving 4 GB here. Okay. Now it asks for a virtual hard drive you want to give. So by default, it's this, create a virtual hard disk now. Click on create. Next. Next. Okay, so now it asks you for the size you want to give. So I recommend you to give at least 10 or 15 GB to our Kali Linux. Okay, now everything looks fine. So here is our virtual machine which is created, Kali Linux demo. Now let's start this virtual machine by clicking on start. So when for the first time you will start this machine, it asks you for the location of ISO file. So just click on this icon and give the location of Kali Linux ISO file. So it's present in my desktop. So here is that file. So I have selected this file and click on open and start. Okay, so this is the main menu of the Kali Linux. So this menu will come for the first time when you will start the Kali Linux. Now you can use Kali Linux in the two ways. The first one is that you can install the Kali Linux. Then the second one is to use live. So in the live mode, the Kali system will boot it up and you can use the Kali Linux. But once you shut down the system, your data will not be saved because we will not install the operating system, we will use it live. So I recommend you to install this operating system. So in order to install this operating system, go to install and hit enter. So the first one, it's asked for the language. So let it be English. Okay, then it asks for the location. So India, then key map to use American English. Now it's loading some additional components and we have to wait for a time being. Okay, so hostname should be Kali, then leave it as empty. So now it asks you for the password you want to give. So by default, the password for every Linux system is TOOR, T-O-O-R. So I'm setting up the same password, T-O-O-R. So now here's the complex things comes in, partition disk. So for the new users, so I recommend you to select the first option, which is use entire disk. Hit enter again. Okay, now it asks us like we want to save all the files in one partition or we want to separate the files like in home and different directories. So if you are a new user, so first select the first option, hit enter, then now select this option, finish partitioning, and write changes to disk. Hit enter again, write changes to disk. Okay, so now it creates an ext4 file system for our virtual machine. And here you can see now our installation process has been started. It will take some little bit time, so I'm pausing this video and I'll resume it once my installation part has been completed. Okay, so now it asks you for a network mirror. So why it's asking? Because it will update some packages to ensure that your Kali Linux operating system will be in the newer state. So use a network mirror. If you want to use it, click on next, leave it as empty. So it will scan the mirror and it will configure its apt packages list. So now you can see that it's installing grub bootloader, which helps Kali Linux or any of Linux operating system to boot. Okay, so now it asks us for installing the grub bootloader to the master record. Yes, we want to install it on a master record. So select yes and hit enter. Now it asks us that on which file system or file partition we want to install the grub. So select this one /dev/sta because this contains our file system. So hit enter. Now it's here you can see that it's installing grub on /dev/sta. So once it's installed the grub, it will update the grub. Now it's finishing the installation. Okay, now here you can see that our installation has been completed. Now click on continue and it will restart our Kali Linux. And it's removing its running live packages. Here you can see. So now here you can see that our Kali Linux system has been restarted. Okay, so the username is root and the password is TOOR, T-O-O-R, which we set while installing the system. Okay, so right now we are inside the Kali Linux. Let me go to the full screen mode. So if you go to applications menu, so here you can see a list of tools divided into different categories, like tools used for information gathering like Nmap, Maltego and Zenmap, then tools for vulnerability analysis, web application analytics, password attacks, forensics, and so on. So if you are new to Linux operating system and if you haven't used any kind of Linux system before, and if you haven't used Kali Linux also, so let me give you a short introduction that how we can use this system Kali and the Linux by command line. So this is the terminal of the Kali Linux. So the ls command will list out all the directories where we are right in. So whenever our Kali Linux is started and we open this terminal, we are just prompted inside root directory. Here you can see that we are inside root. So pwd command is used for printing out the working directory. So if you want to create a new directory, so the command is mkdir and any directory name like demo. So now if you just hit ls, you can see that a directory named as demo has been created. So now in order to change the directory, what we can do, just write cd followed by the directory name. So cd means change directory, and right now we are inside the demo, and here you can see. So now if we do ls, we'll see nothing. So now if you want to go back one directory, then what you can do, just write down cd space followed by 2 dots. Now you can see that now we came back again into previous directory, that's root. So now our installation part has been completed, and in the next video I'll show you that how we can install Metasploitable 2 Linux inside our virtual machine in order to complete our testing lab environment. So thanks for watching this video.